All right, welcome to the LCW Tuesday night crit on August 24th, riding in B group. I'm going to have a lot of this race running at 2.5 speed, just because, I know you're all cycling fans, but I'm not sure you want to watch an hour long of B grade crit, well, slash road race. I got to call it road race, I guess, or Amy will get mad at me. Everyone just knows it as the LCW Tuesday Night Crit, but they are divided into crit courses and road courses, and the Scotland Loop here is categorized as a road course. Yeah, so I'll slow her down at the exciting parts, but most of it will be running. Ticking along here. If you find this too dizzying and distracting at the 2.5 pace and would rather I just clip to the interesting parts and run them all at regular speed, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll keep doing it like this, where I'll slow it for the big moments and speed it up through when we're just rolling along. So, where are we at with the season so far? Obviously, with COVID, it's been a truncated season. I was also doing open water swims on Tuesday nights for a while until Port Stanley got too skunky and we couldn't do that anymore. And so now I am making it out for the Tuesday night crits. So I'm running a B group. I was in pre-COVID. I was in A. I am not in the same shape I was then, so I'm gonna ride B until I feel I'm ready to take on the A grade and at least be able to finish a race with the pack. I just pointed the little attack here goes off, and we do a little bit of chasing to get the LCW guys back, and nothing too exciting because, we're in the first lap of 6 laps of this 5K route. And so I decide if I'm going to chase these guys, I'm going in the gutter here because I'm not going to just give everyone a totally free ride. If I'm doing work, everyone else is going to work too. So yeah, so far I've just had a few races and it's going pretty good. B group is, I find it's a lot of fun. It's a pace where you can talk, you can plan, you can attack, you can hold things back, and I can also show up at the sprint at the end of the race much of the time. And my best was, I'm gonna lose track. I think it was last week that I was in third. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of things these days. It all kind of runs together. Um, but yeah, so what I came into this week thinking was I need to do more work because there's no point in me, if I want to move up to A, there's no point in me just sitting in the pack in B and then maybe like going for a sprint. If I'm gonna go up to A, I gotta work hard. I gotta do a lot of strong intervals. And so I thought, I'm gonna be really active this race, stay at the front, do some attacks, pullbacks, whatever happens along the way. So that was the plan going into this here. And then also just want to keep it fast because with my pace, fast is good. And here I let Pete off the front because yeah, I'll talk about Pete several times throughout this race, but strong guy and always happy to let people go off really early solo. Hope they burn themselves out a little bit, give the rest of us a little bit of a chance. So I'll do that sometimes when someone like Braden or Pete is going strong on the front. I'll just slow up a little bit, roll them off, and hope they get wild with super long solo attacks. On the other hand, I don't want the whole LCW team to get off without us. So here I give away what I decided to do for this race. So I'll let you listen into what I tell people. So I tell Pete that I'm going to gutter the bunch. So on this whole stretch, which is the longest straight stretch of this course, there's a cross headwind from our left here. And there's also a little bit of a rise to this. So I just put it in to the side of the road and put my head down and went hard. And you know, the logic here is really to burn out the pack and make sure we've got less people riding on, because my sprint isn't strong. Um, I just want to come to the end of the race with as small a group as possible. So I took it hard this lap into the wind, and you'll see I do that again, and for even longer stretch on the next lap. And then I was talking to Conrad right there, and I was trying to coax him into doing the same thing for us next lap, and say, hey, I did my turn in the going hard in the gutter. Can you do it again next lap? But I don't think he totally got what I was going for, because I think he actually rolls. He takes off a bit here, I think. Anyway, I was like, you know, if I can get everyone else to make it hard and split up the group, um, then that would be even sweeter. But like I said, I was there for hard work, and if I had to give her myself, I was gonna do that. That was the plan. So I'll mention Braden on the left there in the fluoro socks now as well. He is so strong, and so just tearing it up on the sprints. His Strava at our last uphill sprint, I think he had 1,525 watts, which is yeah, it's wild. Um, and so you'll see him and Pete do a ton of work on the front, and as I think that's Aaron as well, the third LCW kit there. It's a little hard to tell with all the exact same kit and with this camera angle, um, but they do a lot of work, which is great. I mean, that's perfect. Um, because Braden's gonna out sprint us every single day. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a solution. You'll see in the end he can sprint from the front. um, I mean, I guess the solution is an attack, but you'll see he closes us down anytime the ESP team tries to bridge a gap that opens up later. So yeah, I'm not sure there's a solution for power that's that huge. And so other than maybe he'll move up to A group, and that'll give the rest of B a bit of a chance. So yeah, same plan I had on this lap, which is our third lap, is put it in the gutter and go hard, and see if I can split things apart, because you can't even. I mean, there's a whole bunch of riders that you never see in this video riding behind us. Um, it was probably, I don't know, it was probably like 15 folks to start, and several of them really were in the pack, which is smart. I mean, that's it's a better way to ride if you wanna do well in races, is don't do all the work. But again, my goal was to split them up. So here's where things start to happen. So I did that big pull in the gutter there. Conrad gets it that we're trying to go hard, although he slows in this corner really hard, which is less good for splitting up the group. But and unfortunately, it means I got to do another turn to keep this attack going up this little bit of a rise here, and there's a tiny bit of crosswind still in this section. But yeah, this is again like the point of going in the gutter is to really bring the race alive, because when the race comes alive, then that's when splits are going to happen, and hopefully we're going to shrink things down, and gives me all the more chance. So some good work by Conrad here. I'm helping on this, though I'm, because of that big pull into the wind on the back end, and then you get this rise here. I'm pretty tired, so I'm definitely hoping to stay in the front pack. But yeah, you'll see that there's a challenge that comes if folks go really hard. So you see there's a tiny gap to this group. That's fine. Like, I'm happy if Life gets away. So Life is our other ESP in the white horizontal stripes there. I'm happy if he gets away or not. I'm tired from that pull, so I'm not going to bring them back anyway. So this is fine. The other guys bring this all back together. Up the little rise here, which is our finish line too. So you'll see that it's an uphill sprint, which is pretty cool. I like it. And then Braden doing some work as well. And I think there's carnage behind us at this point, because when the group does come back together, there's definitely a few people missing. And I'm not sure exactly at what point in the race that gap happened. But there was definitely some like micro splits on this here. So now we slow a little bit, and this is brilliant by Conrad. So I'm tired from that lead, and then we went up the hill. Braden just bridged us back a bit, so he's tired. I know Paul, who's the Cycles London guy in the red and blue stripes, um, he was tired too. I could hear him up this little rise to the corner here, breathing hard. And so Conrad jumps us there, and um, Pete responds from the LCW in one of the yellow kits. So he was on the front when Conrad went over us. Pete goes with him, which is brilliant because Conrad is an absolute machine. So he's aerobic for days. So he wins the time trials most Thursday nights, and so he can pull. And I've actually been talking to him and trying to encourage him, because he gets frustrated because he does a lot of efforts near the front and then doesn't necessarily win the sprints. And so I've been, telling him, you can go away, you can stay away from us. You just got to time it right. You got to go a little later in the race. You got to go when people are tired. So here's the two of them, Conrad and Pete, not too far off the front. And so, we're still, what was it, 2 or 3 laps still to go. And thinking, yeah, we can chase these guys back. But here is our problem. We've got Braden definitely working for the break, because Pete's in there. Um, and this young guy in the green, I'm not totally sure. I'm assuming, and someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know this guy, but I'm assuming he was working for LCW, because he was essentially doing what Braden was doing, which is going to the front and going slightly slower than the two guys who were away. And so what we really need to do is we need to organize with myself, Life in the white with the horizontal, and Amy in the black with the horizontal, and these two Cycles London guys with the vertical red and blue. Is we need to organize this chase. But what happens, you see Braden there in the front again. So Braden just keeps rolling through, and then again going just slightly slower than the break to fast enough to keep us from, wanting to go around him all the time, but slow enough that he's building out that gap. And so, here we get a little bit of a chance. Amy does some good work. I do some work, and so then we start to close them down again on this hill here, and you'll see like life um, goes really hard there. So I'm like, you know what? If life wants to bridge up this climb, and then they've got four, and one of them's us, that's great. But then Braden starts closing it down too, and I'm like, man, I five up the front with two of them being LCW. That's no good. So we gotta bring this back, and then life sits up anyway. So it creates this really, yeah, this chaotic chase where we never ended up really with like the five of us, like the three at ESP and the two cycles London, rolling together on the front. Braden just keeps popping up, and the guy in the green here keep popping up to the front, disrupting us enough. Um, and then we also didn't really have our heads on to counter that and to just keep going around them as five. We would go, one or two guys would go around them and then do their turns, and then they would interrupt again. So here you got Amy trying to marshal us, right? And being like, come on, guys, we gotta all go around. And actually, I should have followed Amy there, um, and encouraged life on my wheel, and then we've got three of us to roll it. I was sleeping on that one for sure. Um, Enjoying this little draft from the wind off of our right here. And again, so I noticed these guys are sitting, right? And so we got to go. You see how quickly that gap grows out, even though we're moving okay on the front. As soon as LCW slows it down, these guys are just away. Because yeah, I mean, Pete and Conrad, two strong guys, two time trialists, strong aerobic engines. It's no good for us. Uh, so I don't know why I'm on the gutter here. If I'm trying to bring this back, yeah, there we go. I wake up and I'm like, oh wait, I should be over here and let the group work with me. Um, Again, like Braden's just so sharp here to keep second wheel as much as he can. Second, third wheel, just disrupt, disrupt, disrupt. Keep making me, life, and Amy have to go over top. Paul comes over, does a little bit as well. Um, and chasing, chasing, chasing. Great, great work by Pete and Conrad. I never got a chance to really talk with them afterwards to see what it was like at the front there, and if they were sharing the work and that sort of stuff. I did see Pete looking back a lot. There was some definite moments where uh, he was definitely losing faith, um, and where we got like pretty close, and you'd see him looking back, and but they never gave up, right? Because it's easy to be like, let's just sit up. They're gonna catch us anyway, and they never did. So kudos to them. But again, you got Braden and the green guy on the front, slowing us down. Life comes around, but then Paul's. So I mean, really, again, like Paul and I should go around to help Life. Now we got one lap to go, and I'm gonna stop commentary in a second. Let you ride along with with me to the finish here. Um, I'm still not sure, right? I'm like, are we chasing these guys now, or are we giving up and sprinting for third place? Um, Life does a big overtop dig. Like, I don't think he's gonna bridge. Is he gonna bridge? Is that what's happening? um, yeah, but like Braden just marking him head on a swivel, I think we call that. Yeah, that's the sound of heavy breathing in the background. It was tough, man. Some of that chase, like, they were motoring pretty good off the front here. So you'll see, we keep going for it, and Amy keeps pushing us, even after turning the corner into that long headwind stretch. She was still hopeful that we could catch them before the finish. But so the tough situation is in this scenario. I was pretty sure at this point I could have bridged them, especially as we turn into that last headwind stretch after the next right turn. But you can hear from my breathing, the heart rate is definitely up. But here's the thing. So what do I do, right? So do I pull? Because I'm definitely not gonna. You know, I'm not gonna get away from my group. Like, I'm not gonna bridge solo. It would be a slow, steady bridge. So am I gonna pull our whole group back? I mean, either Amy or Life are like sprint specialists. So do I bury myself to pull our whole group back just so other people can have the chance to sprint against Pete and Conrad, right? Or do I sit in and then I'm best case scenario sprinting for third? So kind of a crappy position to be in, where you're like, yeah, I think I could bridge this back, but not strong enough to jump my group and bridge them. So
I wish, man.
yeah, so here Amy's yelling behind me. She's like, "You gotta go over, go around." I'm like, yeah, no.
I can't, man. I'm done.
So I'm saying I can't go over, but really I'm thinking like, well, I'm gonna sit on Braden until the sprint at this point in time. Like, you know, what's the point of going up and over?
I'm toast.
Just bringing another group into the race. But you know, Amy's good motivator. Almost talked me into it.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end,
It didn't even matter. Yeah, so I think the big lesson there is like, you really got to organize on a chase when you've got two of the strongest time trial riders away. Yeah, you gotta all work together, especially if they've got disruptors in the pack. It's the only way to do it is get 4 or 5 people on the front rolling together and keep pushing over top of the disruptors. It's pretty much the lesson. So again, getting brilliant draft. Same thing Pete and Braden did last week, is big lead out. Pete for Braden, and I was able to sit on that real nice. So this time, Braden's gonna lead himself out. I'm always hoping at this point, Life or Amy jump for a long sprint, because that's where both of their strengths lie, in more aerobic. And so, because I'm not a great sprinter, the more we can string out the sprint while I'm nearish the front, the less likely as many people will come around me on the finish. So I'm always happy when Life goes with, like, if we're on a crit course, like a lap to go. Ramp things up really hard. I can just grab a wheel and get as close to the front as I can. So you will see that's what Amy does. Takes the long bomb, speeds things up, and I can sit on. So here we go. Uphill sprint for third place on the line. I didn't even ask between Conrad and Pete actually who won from the break. Free ride. And can I catch Braden up the hill? He's like not even trying still. Watching, waiting to stand up if he needs to. So I was coming back to him a little bit, but then as soon as he stands up, and then cycles London on the right, goes up and over me. I was like, ah, shoot. So yeah, 5th place, B grade, good day out. Got my hard intervals in and those two laps in the gutter and a little bit of chasing. And kudos to Conrad, who made the break that we knew he could do, and he did it really well.